Oh shit. There's a fish. Feels like a good one. I already see some bait flickering. That's a great sign. First cast in the yak in a minute. Feels good to be back out. Always a blessing. Hopefully we can make something happen today. You never know. But I already see some bait fish flickering around, so that's a good sign. It's a lot cooler. A lot cooler than the last time we were out here. I think the high for today is going to be like low 60s. And I'll check water temp when I turn my graph on, but I guess it's probably also in the low 60s based on how it's been recently. It's just pretty chilly. So we're kind of getting into that late fall vibe. Early winter techniques are starting to come into play. Oh, there's a fish. It feels like a good one. Ate it on the paws. Come on, mama. Be a good one. Solid one. Take that. Take that. Ate it on the paws. Little clue. That might be the juice for the day. We'll see. But we got first blood. It's always feels good, especially after not being on the water for a little bit. Or not being in the kayak for a little bit. yeah, maybe a little under 2 maybe. She's got a little belly on her. Take that. Thank you. Back with my friends. Some of those past videos I was moving my jerkbait a little quicker. That water was warmer, but it's cooled off quite a bit, and so as that water cools, I like to throw in some longer pauses and really let that bait sit. And a lot of times you'll just see your line swimming off or your line jump, and they got it, they're just swimming off with it. Or also what'll happen is, like, you'll pause it for a few seconds, and then as soon as you go to rip, make that first rip, they'll eat it. They'll be staring at it, and then it looks like it's gonna get away, so they kind of lash out. But just because the water's cold doesn't always mean you gotta pause it for hella long, but it's just good to experiment, and that's kind of the rule of thumb that I like to go by. But always let the fish tell you what you're doing. Don't try and force it just because the textbook of bass fishing says you gotta be doing one thing. Look at those trees. Those leaves are just so vibrant. Can never get old, you know. Another little tip for your jerkbaits, as the water temperature changes, the buoyancy of your bait will also change. So sometimes a bait that was sinking in warmer water will suspend in the colder water because the density of the water changes. So make sure you check your jerkbaits and make sure it's doing what you want it to do. I like mine to be suspending or like slowly sinking, if anything. There's times of the year when you want a floating jerkbait, but this is not that time of year, so I'm just making sure my baits are either sitting completely still, suspending, or just a slow sink. I know most of y'all are out here on football Sunday sitting on the couch, but that is not me. I'm out here ripping. Call me stupid if you want to. But I do hope my Niners get a dub. Or no, they already played. I'm tripping. Well then, yeah, we're good. I'm not even missing anything. knew there had to be some down there. Not lipless. I was yo-yoing it and they weren't eating it, so I just started kind of slow reeling it and ticking that grass. And there she goes. That's that spring craw color. A little Delta staple, but it does good out here. It does good on Clear Lake. Just trying something different from all the shad presentations I've been on. They've definitely been getting bites, but sometimes switching over to that craw, you can get some bigger fish. Because they're just seeing so much bait, so much shad, so much silver, white. So you throw that red out there and get them fired up a little bit. But we'll see. I don't know why my chesty keeps turning off. It's freaking annoying. I'm trying to run this 2-camera setup. Yep. And that is why we throw the Alabama rig. So, if my video wasn't coercing enough, persuading enough, I think that should be persuading. Chunky one. Choke that thing. That's the OSP Dolive shad. Oh, check that one. That Shad Procure Juicy Juice. Get a little stank on your bait. See if that fires them up. For now, I'm gonna only put it on one. Well, the swim baits, but if they start eating that, best believe I'm gonna put it on all of them. You'll just leave a little scent trail behind your rig. I can just help them track it a little better. Pull them from further away. Yeah, it seems like there's, based on what I've caught, they're in this mid-level water depths. It's like right where the weeds start to die off in like 12 to 15 feet. Seems like that's where they're sitting. Found some rock down there. There's not a lot of deep rock out here. It's like mostly just riprap on the bank. So any of these deeper rock piles that I can find, definitely want to give it some time. Soak something down there. Just like I said, find that rock. There's not that much of it. Yes, sir. Decent one. Bait number 4, fish number 4.
get so far?
4. Yeah. Probably like 3, a little over 3. Yeah. They've all been on different baits though. It's kind of weird.
No, can't put a pattern together.
Nah, not at all. Retie. That rock will shred up that line. Yeah, if I swing on a fish with this, that shit's gonna break instantly. Not about that life. So we're gonna be smart and retie. Big striper dead. That sucks. Yeah, that one's at least between 10 and 15 probably. Big one. The lady at the ramp was saying they've had a couple big ones die, and they're not really sure why. It's hard to know. Finally got 2 fish on 1 bait. Let's go. Might have figured them out. Yes, sir. They're smoking that thing. They're picking it up and running off with it. Nice little guy on the Dobyns football jig, brown and orange. sir. That's fun. Check my line. All good. Just slowly dragging it, filling those rocks, and just hopping it over those rocks, letting it sit, shaking it a little bit, and they're just picking it up. That was a funky ass hook set.
Alright, nice.
Thank you. Fighter. Get your ass in here.
Is that a trout?
Bass.
Oh, bass. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. So funny. I literally called it. I'm like, I felt that rock down there, and I'm like, yep, there really is not that much. And when you get that isolated structure or cover, that's the stuff you want, you know. When I'm dragging that jig, I like to keep my rod high. It just keeps the angle of your line up, and so you're able to drag over those rocks. Well, as I say that, I get hung up, but for the most part, I mean, you're obviously going to get stuck, but if you had your rod more horizontal and you're dragging your jig, oh shit. Fish is nice. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a healthy one. That's probably a 5-pounder. Hell yeah. Probably a 5-pounder, maybe 4.5, but she's got a belly on her. That one ate the jig off of I was snagged up and I was going to clear it out, and she took it out of the snag for me, so that was a win. sir. Another one on the jig. Bottom of the mouth. Yep. Guess it's a jiggy kind of day. Sometimes they just want to crawfish, you know? Just like that.